Hi guys, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. For those of you who are new here, my name is Brenda and welcome. If you like home decor on a budget, if you like holiday decor, thrift flips, and gift ideas, as well as an occasional haul, this is your channel, so hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell and give me that thumbs up. And for the rest of you returning, welcome back. I'm so happy to have all of you guys here today. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, for this first DIY, we're starting out with a bucket from the Dollar Tree, a scarf from the Dollar Tree, and this jump rope from the Dollar Tree. And you just start off by taking the top part or the bottom part of that handle off and pulling the rope through, untying it, and there you go, and just save that handle for a later project. And then you're just going to start by using some hot glue and gluing the end of that rope onto the inside of that little bucket. And then you're just going to wrap it all the way around to the other end. And you can use any kind of bucket or pail or container. These, I don't know if you can find them. You never know when you can find things at Dollar Tree. But whatever you use, that would make something to hold stuff with. And then once you get to the other end, you just clip off the extra and hot glue it down. Now when you hot glue it, you want to kind of push it over a little bit so that when you cover it with this scarf, you can cover that end part. So here I'm just taking the scarf and I'm just going to hot glue it right along the rim on the outside of that bucket. And I'm just going to go all the way around, hot gluing it as I go until I get to the opposite end. And then once I get to where the handle is, I do bring the scarf down and hot glue right below it and then all around the bottom part of that opening so that is covered. And I do that on both sides. And then once that is done, I'm just going to take some of this and trim it because there was a lot more than what I needed of that scarf. So I am going to trim some of it down so that I don't have so much extra there. And then once I get that all trimmed down, I'm just going to just tuck in the ends. I put a little hot glue on the ends there so that it doesn't open up. But then there you go. You got a nice cute little bucket to put plates or whatever in. For like your picnic. Then I take these little foam stars that I got at Walmart a couple of years ago and I'm painting them blue because yellow didn't really match. And once they're all painted and dry, I just take the little backing off and I put them all around my bucket on the outside and we are done. I plan on using this to put all my sunscreen and stuff in out by our back door so that way when we go swimming we can remember to put on our sunscreen. So there it is, really easy. It only costs what, a little over $3 to do. Okay, and here is the next DIY. Now, I really struggled with this. I had so many ideas and nothing seemed to be working out, so this is what I ended up doing. So I grabbed 2 of these metal stars from the Dollar Tree, and honestly, I think I got those stars or those straws at Dollar Tree, but I'm not positive. So I just go in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson, and I paint 1 star completely with that color, and then the other star I'm painting with my FolkArt Nautical blue, and I paint inside, out, and on the back. And once those were all dry, I went in with my Cricut and I printed these little sayings, and I'm just putting them on the inside of each star, and it says "Land of the Free because of the Brave." And once I get that all on, I am going to, I believe, glue them together. Yes, I'm going to use my hot gun. Now, I was sent this hot gun from Monvict. It is a very nice hot gun. I really like it. It has a light that tells you like what temperature it's on because it has two temperatures, and it has an on-off button, and you can use it cordlessly if you want. It's a great little glue gun. If you're looking for one, I would definitely recommend checking that one out. And there I just used some of that Fix-All super glue and some hot glue and glued those stars together. Here I'm using some hot glue to glue those straws onto the back. And then I used one of those cubes that have the cube that goes inside of it from Dollar Tree, and I just took the outside part of it and put some floral foam in it, and now I am just wrapping it with some of that extra scarf that I cut off, and I'm just using an embossing tool to just kind of poke the edge of the scarf into the box and between the box and the foam, and I'm just making sure that the scarf is tight around the box while I do that. And then once I'm done with that, I'm just going to put a little hot glue all around the top where it's separated. And then of course my hot glue doesn't like metal, so it kind of came apart. So I just put a clamp there and let it set for a little bit, and then it stuck just fine. Once I'm done with that, I am going to get these flowers. Now the red and white striped flower came from the Dollar Tree, and the blue and white ones that are from Walmart. So I'm just going to use a little hot glue on the back of them and glue them onto that scarf. And then once I am done with that, I am going to get some ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I am going to measure it to size, and then I'm going to trim it and hot glue it to the outside of that box. And once that is hot glued, I am going to take that same ribbon and I'm going to create a little bow with that ribbon. When that ribbon is double-sided, it's really cool. It's polka dots on one side and stripes on the other. And then I'm just going to trim down those legs and dovetail them and hot glue them on. And I think that is it. That ends this project. Okay, and then this is the next DIY. I took 3 of these little wedding signs, and I'm going to take the tags off the back as well as all of those little legs. Now the middle leg comes off pretty easy. The other ones are glued on. This one's just kind of snapped in. The other ones are glued on, so I kind of had to work out a little bit, but they weren't too hard to get off. And once I got them all off, I painted one with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white and one in the color crimson, and then one in my Nautical blue by FolkArt. Now I did have to put about 3 layers, especially over the middle part, because that writing was showing through. So I did have to kind of coat it quite, I think it was 3 layers that I had to put on it. And then once I had them all painted, and dried, I decided I wanted to add some stripes on the red and the white ones. So I'm using some painter tape here to block off where I want the stripes. Now, you see me going horizontal there. I end up really not liking it, so I kind of had to change some things at the end because it did not turn out the way I had imagined it. But I do like the way it turned out at the end. So once I got this all painted, I painted red inside of the white, and then I did the same thing to the red arrow, and I painted white inside of the tape as well. But you're not going to see that part because I didn't want to bore you. And then once I have this all painted and the red one all painted, and once the paint is dry, I take off the painter's tape. Actually, I probably took the tape off before it was dry. But then I am going to lay it down vertically and make vertical stripes. And you'll see here, oh, I'm painting it white. And you'll see when I take it off, it looks kind of funky. It doesn't look the way I imagined. So I did end up going around the sides with a little more white paint and red paint and just kind of changed it up a little bit. But yeah, here you'll see it's not quite the way I imagined it. So I had to kind of change it a little bit there. You see me sitting there looking at it thinking, okay, how am I going to change this? So once I got it all changed and it was all dried, I just kind of was sitting them out or putting them where I wanted them, trying to figure out how I wanted to lay them. And then I got these wood letters from, actually I think I got these from Dollar General. And I painted them white, and then I am just hot gluing them onto the middle of that blue arrow. And then once that was all done, I went ahead and placed them with the red ones. Oh, sorry, I guess I'm going to put on some of those stickers that I got from Walmart. And I'm just going to place some of these stickers all around the blue arrow, which is supposed to be like a firecracker. Then I take some of this Raffia and I cut some down and trimmed it. I was going to hot glue it, turn it in half and hot glue it, but it was too bulky. So I just cut it and then I put some hot glue on the bottom of each one of those little rocket arrows, and I'm just pushing the ends into the hot glue. Then I take these pins that I got from the Dollar Tree and I pull off the top. They were just kind of screwed in, but didn't take much to pull them off. And I add a little hot glue to the back of those rockets and then a little hot glue to the top, and then I'm just gluing that on. And as you see, I did cover the back of those with some paper to cover the holes from the stands that pulled out. And then I'm just going to hot glue this together. And once those are together, I'm going to use one of those legs that I pulled off of them. And I actually put two on the back to just give it help it be a little more sturdy. Then I take this blue ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby that has white stars on it. And I'm just making a little bow. And I'm going to hot glue one on the top of the red and the white one, rockets or firecrackers, whatever you want to call them. And then once that's done, I just take another one of those stars, put a little hot glue on them, and put it right in the middle of the bow. And then once that was done, I used a little lighter to sear off the edges so it didn't unravel. And then there you see the paper that I had added to the back. So then I'm just taking some red ribbon and I'm just going to hot glue it onto the back so we have a little something to hang it with. And this DIY is complete. Okay, this is the final DIY and my favorite. In fact, I loved it so much it brought tears to my eyes. So I just used a sign from the Dollar Tree, that wall decal from the Dollar Tree, and then that God Bless America sign that came in a frame from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just lining up the wall decal with that sign and measuring where I want to cut it, and then I just trim off the excess there. And then I pull off the back so that you have the sticky part there, and it is got like 2 layers. So I just put some hot glue there to keep it closed, and then add a little more hot glue and just added that to the back of that sign. And then I took that extra piece and I am just marking where I want to cut, and I'm going to trim off 4 pieces to fit all along the top part there. And then I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the big piece as far as hot gluing in the middle and on the outside, and then sticking those on the top. And then once I was done, I just trimmed off any excess that I had. And then I took that little picture and trimmed it down a little bit because I wanted it to show some of that brick on the back of or on the front of that picture. And then I took my antique wax and I am just doing some dry brushing all around it. And then I take these flat dowels that I got from Amazon. I'll put a link to them in my description box. And I'm just measuring them out to the size that I want right now. And then I'm going to use my antique wax as well once I get them all trimmed down. And I'm going to wax them with the wax. And I'm going to put a link to this glue gun that I'm using in my description box below. And I think I'm going to have a 10% discount code on there for you as well if you want to get it. And it's a great hot glue gun. I really do like it. I'm really impressed with it. And then once I was done with that, I went ahead and glued around the sign, and then I'm going to stick those flat dowels all the way around the sign to frame it. And once I was done with that, I grabbed this ribbon that I got at Michael's around Easter time. And I think I measured this to be about 12 inches long. And then I took this stars ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I think that was 10 inches. And then I'm making the legs, I believe, were 8 inches. So I just cut out the plaid and the stars for the legs of the bow. And then once I have that done, I take the bigger plaid ribbon and I hot glue the ends together. And then I take the bigger star ribbon and I hot glue those ends together. And then once I was done with that, I just put those together and pinch in the middle of the bigger ribbon. And then I'm going to use a twisty tie to tie it together. And I only twisted a couple of times because I'm going to fold in this ribbon and put the other ribbon on top, and then I'm going to attach that to the back of the bow with the rest of that twisty tie. And then once I'm done with that, I just turn it around and I fluff up the bow and fluff up the tails. And then I do trim the tails, or as far as I should say, I dovetail those tails. Then when I was done with that, I take a wooden star that I got from, I think, Walmart, and I paint it with that crimson red. And then, here's where I dovetail the ribbons, the legs. And then once I get done with that, I just put a little hot glue on it and put that star right in the middle of that bow. And then I take some of this new ribbon that they got at the Dollar Tree. It's ribbon trim, some kind of trim, and it's like a burlap ribbon. It's really cool. I really like it. And I am just going to go all the way around that picture with it. And I think it just gave it that extra pop. I absolutely love this picture. When I was showing my husband, my eyes were tearing up because I just thought it was so pretty. So I took some more of that trim and I'm just hot gluing it to the back so we have a hanger. And then I'm going to use that paper bag to cover up that back part of the picture and then trim off the paper bag. And this project is done as well. And I just absolutely love this one. Again, I just think it's beautiful. I think it's something you would find at Hobby Lobby. And so let me know what you think, guys, in the description box below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you all hit that like button. That really does help my channel. And it lets YouTube know that you like my content and you want to see more. And then also, if you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on Facebook. You can follow me there. You can post pictures if you make anything. I would love to see it. Send me some pictures on either one of those places. And here's the final review of all 4 items. Make sure you check out my description box, check out the heat gun or the glue gun if you're looking for one. And I guess that is it for this week. I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful day and a blessed week, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.